Do you want to make this, but you don't want to do this? Well, if you have one of these, and you have one of these, then I'm going to teach you how you can make jam without a stove. Come check it out with me. Okay guys, this recipe is really super duper easy. I have 3 cups of fruit. Here, my absolute favorite is blackberry. And then I have 2 cups of granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Now, because blackberries are not a high pectin type fruit, high acidic, yes, but not high pectin, it needs a little help to get it to gel set. So that's where the sugar and the lemon come in. So we're going to go ahead and add our sugar right on top of our berries. Just like that. Like so. So you see that? And then we're going to pour our lemon juice right on top of that. Now, do not, I will repeat, do not stir this. Time to stir will come in just a minute. So we're going to pop this in our microwave oven on high for 4 minutes. And then we will come right back and I'll show you what to do next.
Meanwhile,
While your jam or jelly is cooking in the microwave, when it gets close to done, that's going to be around the 16-minute mark, you want to start tempering your jars. And all I've done, and I'm sorry I didn't record this before I thought to do this, I took a kettle of hot water and I put them into my already cleaned jars, mason jars. These are 16-ounce mason jars, 1 pint. And I also have the lids sitting in hot water as well. So those are getting tempered and they are almost ready to receive their jam. So on to the next step. Okay guys, our jam is ready. Doesn't that look yummy? Oh, you should smell it. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells like heaven in here. Anyway, so we got that ready to go. We got our jars tempered here. And we have a little vinegar ready for our jars so we can clean the tops. And we have all of our canning tools to one side, which you'll see as we go along. And we are ready to get this show on the road. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to dump the water out of our extremely hot jar. If you're not used to handling hot things. Most cooks can, but if you're not used to it, please wear gloves so you don't burn yourself, okay? So we have our jar. We have our funnel that we're gonna put right in the mouth of the jar. Hope you can see that. Matter of fact, I'll zoom up a little bit and bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing, okay? So you got your jar, you got your mouth here, and according to the instructions for the canner, we're leaving an inch headspace. So that's right about here, right to the lip there, okay? I know on the water bath it says about a 1/4 inch space, but again, going by the directions for this particular canner, it says you leave about 1 inch, okay? So one of the reasons why I love using my Pyrex here, I don't have to ladle this in. I can just pour this straight in, just like that. Okay, boom, okay? And we're gonna shake it around a little bit, make sure those bubbles are out of there. This down, get my debubbler, shake it around in there just in case. And sure enough, there are bubbles still coming up in there, so we'll shake that loose. That's beautiful. Here we got, probably put just a little bit more in there to get it to that 1 inch that we want. Now I make very small batches of jam and jellies. As you can see, we're a family of 2, so I don't need a lot for like a weekend type project. Now, you know, with the way things are going, of course you're going to want to step up your game and make more. But this is more just for demonstration purposes. I'm sorry, I am licking my fingers. Hold on. But it's so good, y'all. Okay, now that the jelly is in the jar, we're going to take a little dab of vinegar on a piece of paper towel, go around the edge of the jar to get it clean so we get a nice seal, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and take our warmed up lid, put that right on there like that, like so. Take our ring, finger tight, don't want to over tighten it or you make a bomb. And no one wants that, right? So just to the point of resistance. There you go. All right. And there you are. There is your microwave jam. Okay. I'm going to make up a couple more jars of these and then we will be right back and I will show you how to load the canner for these. Okay. Be right back.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Okay, we got the blackberry jam I showed you how to process in the microwave. Then we have some Peter Pepper peach jam. Say that 3 times fast. Using the peppers that we grew from the single seed challenge. I'll put a video right over there somewhere if you want to check that out. But yeah, we used peaches and those peppers in here. And then I made an apple jelly using apple juice from the store and some juiced Granny Smith apples to help it set. So those are the 4 that we're working with now. So now I'm going to swing you over to the pressure cooker and show you how to load these in and get them processed, okay? Okay. Okay, I'm bringing you in nice and tight on this so you can see what I'm doing. Now, different pressure cookers with canning settings operate a little bit differently, but I'm going to show you how this one works, okay? So we take off the lid, set it to one side. You're going to take a raised stand. So this elevates the jar off of the bottom. Stick that in there. Hope you can see that. I think so. Okay. Now you're going to put your jars of your hot jars, or warm jars, hot jars of jelly, jam, whatever it is that you're water bathing, into the pot here. Now, according to the instructions on this, this can take 4 pint size, so that's what we're sticking with here. I personally think I can get 5, but well, it is what it is, right? So we got that in there. And then what we're going to do is put hot water in here into the pot. That's going to go up about 1/4 of the way for the jars. And that's going to be for this about 6 cups of hot water that you're going to need. So I have my tea kettle here, my water's hot, and we're going to pour that into about 1/4 way of the jar. Okay, that's about it. Maybe it's a little bit more, but that's about it. Okay, so I hope you can see down in there. That's about 1/4 of the way there. I think you can see, let me see that point here. About 1/4 of the way here. Okay. Then I'm going to scoot you back a little bit so you can see how to actually close. Well, yeah, scoot you back a little bit and let you see how to close this. Okay, so hang on. Okay, this is better. Okay, this is better. Okay, as you can see on this one, matter of fact, let me undo it again. So when you first put it on, you line it up here, and then you're going to spin it until it's in the lock position. Okay, you can't go any further. It's going to stay locked. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is close the valve on this. And on this particular one, it's just a, almost seems like it doesn't belong there, but it's a floating valve. And if you notice, there's 2 icons here, one for steaming or venting, and the other one is close. We want to set it to close. We want to keep all that steam in there, okay? Then the next thing to do would be to actually start it. So we're going to swing around to the front, and I'm going to show you how to program it. Hold up. Okay, we're at the front of the power pressure cooker, and we're going to first hit the canning and preserving button, and then we are going to adjust the cook time to 20 minutes. Okay, that's 20 minutes, and then we are going to let it go. Now what it's doing now is, as it's spinning around like that, it is building up pressure. Now once the right amount of pressure has been achieved, it then will start the clock and the start counting down from 20 to complete. So once that is complete, we will come back and I will show you how the finished product looks. Okay.
Yay!
Okay, guys, while the jam and jellies are processing, I wanted to address some of the concerns around using an electric pressure cooker that's designed for canning to do this. The concern is that the USDA has not tested it yet to prove that it gets hot enough and remains at the hot temperature long enough to get the internal temperature of the canned item to 240 degrees for the allotted amount of time for whatever it is that you're cooking, in order for it to kill off the stronger bacteria like botulism and salmonella and things like that. It has been tested and has been proven to get hot enough for the amount of time necessary for high acid foods, which is a 212 degree requirement for X amount of time. The reason why there's a difference there, and the reason why there is water bath canning versus pressure canning, is because water, steam, anything like that, water boils hotter than 212, but not hotter than 240. Okay, so that's the crux of it all. So when you're doing a high acid food, there's two things that are happening. One, you get the heat at the 212 that kills off the bacteria, and then you also have the double whammy of the acid that's in the environment that the bacteria and microorganisms cannot survive in. Okay, that's really where the catch happens right there, that acid. With a low acid food, your meat, your vegetables, things like that, that are not being fermented or pickled, that level of acid is not there to give that backup to the heat. So the heat is the only thing that's actually going to kill off your microorganisms. Now, your basic things, like I said, your yeast and your mold, as soon as it hits 212, gone. Bye. Acid or no acid, it's gone. Okay. But when it comes to things like botulism, that particular bacteria, sorry, lost the word for a second, that particular bacteria has become very smart. It knows that when it's in the environment of heat, it begins to build a protective shell and it becomes a spore. That spore can survive through heat until it reaches 240. Once it hits 240, the spore dissipates and the bacteria is killed. Okay, which is where, again, the pressure comes in. The pressure cooker, a regular pressure cooker will come in, because it can get to that 240 and it can last as long as you need it to in order to process the meat or the vegetables that you're doing in order to kill off that bacteria. If the food inside the jar does not reach that internal temperature of 240 for long enough, that spore would just become dormant. Okay, it will sit there in that food, and once the temperature comes back down, it will begin to open that spore up and replicate out. Now, reason why it can still survive in that temperature is because botulism is called an anaerobic bacteria. That means it does not want air, it does not want acid, and it wants nice warm temperatures in order for it to replicate. So anything between 40 degrees to 100 degrees, no air, it's happy. And what is the most perfect environment to meet those requirements? Canned food. Low acid canned food. Got to make that distinction there. So again, the fear with using an electric pressure cooker with slash canner is that it has not, the government has not tested most of these to deem them able to hit that 240 and remain at that 240 long enough to kill off the spores, depending on what you're cooking. So that's the deal. So anything that is high acid, high acid and 212 types of food, your jams, your jellies, salsas, anything that's being fermented or pickled, those are fine to cook in the electric canners. Okay, now here's the other thing. You want to make sure that whatever cooker you get specifically says that it does work with canning. Okay, don't get just any electric pressure cooker. You can't, that's a no-no. You want at least the manufacturer to say, yeah, we tested it and we deem it safe to be able to do these foods. Now, like I said, some of the earlier ones would tell you, yes, just high acid. Some of the newer ones that are coming out, and one that I really, really want for Christmas, it's a Presto, has not only been tested by the company, but has also been tested by the government to say, yes, this is a go. And unfortunately, they're sold out. But they should be back in stock. I think they said November, December, something like that. So I'm on the short list to get one of those so I can begin pressure canning. One of the reasons why I like this method is, number one, I have a induction stove, a glass top stove, so a regular pressure canner will not work on my stove. It will crack it, okay, because of the heat and the pressure, the weight and all that is just too much for my stove. The second is because I don't have to babysit it. As you can see, I'm chilling out here on my patio and I'm talking to you guys. So while my jellies and jams are in there doing their thing. I don't have to sit and watch it. I don't have to worry about water boiling over or anything blowing up on me. It's pretty much set it and go about your day. And I'm very much a multitasker, so this is really good for me. That's another reason why I like it. And the third reason I like it is that it does not require as much water. A couple of people who like to use the steam canner love it for that very reason. It doesn't require a lot of water. As you saw earlier, I think I put 6 cups of water in there, and that is it. That's all it requires in there to process these jars. So yeah, so those are pretty good reasons. Oh, and the temperature, hallelujah, there's no humidity. It's all locked into the the cooker. So your kitchen doesn't overheat, your house doesn't overheat. So yeah, thumbs up on that one too. Okay, so I do see some videos out there where people are kind of proving the concept themselves by using it on some low acid foods. Some of these, matter of fact, the one that I have a lot of videos are out there using them for low acid, and some of them are claiming there's no problem. The temperature is getting up as soon as you take the jars out. They're still bubbling and boiling and popping right away, and to seal up. So you know, kudos to them. I'm not gonna go down that path, not at least for this one, because these are like the one I have now is like pretty much the first ones that were on the market, and you know, when you're dealing with the first ones, you know what I mean? I want a little trial and error first before we go into that. But in any case, that's really what the controversy is about using the electric canners versus the original pressure cookers. Okay, I hope that helped clarify some things and why, yes, you can do high acid foods in there as a water bath type of setup, and walk with caution to use them with a low acid type food. Okay, so let's go back in and check and see where we are with our jams and jellies. We ready? Let's do it. Hey guys, while we were outside chatting, the process completed, and it is now sitting in a warm position on the pressure cooker. So what we're going to do now is vent this a little bit. There's a difference of opinion. Some people say to naturally let the pressure come out. Other people say go ahead and open the vent. The book says go ahead and open the vent, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and open the vent. Like I said, now this has already had a chance to kind of sit, so I think we're on team let it vent on its own right now. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this camera shows all the fingerprints. I'm sorry. But yeah, so once we let this finish releasing all of the pressure and the steam out, we'll come right back and take our jars out. Okay, hang tight. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's do this. This model of cooker has a safety precaution. It will not let you unlock this thing until it's fully released, pressure is fully released. So that is a wonderful feature here. So we are going to go ahead and open this up. Yes, everything is still, oh yes. Okay, set that to one side. And I'm going to take out, you hear that? I hope you heard that. There's that one. There's this one here. And I don't know if you guys can see that, it's still humming in there. Okay. Got that one. One. Now, this one look like I may not have tightened it up a little bit enough, because I do see some, yeah, I sure didn't. Okay, so this one I'm going to have to reseal. You see there's a syrup on there, but the rest of them popped. Still waiting on that one to do his thing. But yeah, guys, I think we are successful here. So yeah, so we're gonna redo this one. When I make my next batch, I'm gonna slide that one in there so we can make sure it's get a good seal on it. But the rest of them, absolutely beautiful. You know. Okay, that is it, guys. I hope that you were able to get something out of it. Now, how easy was that? It wasn't terrible at all. So we have just made jam without a stove. How cool is that? So thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you are interested in learning the recipes that I used for the Peter Pepper Peach jam, or the apple jelly, just let me know down in the comments and we'll crank that out for you with no problem at all. But other than that, again, thanks for hanging out with me. Love you all. And I will see you on the flip side. Now I gotta go make some biscuits for these things. Bye, y'all.